For many years, the term sandbox brought the feelings of old, dated, and empty to gamers' minds, but a resurgence is currently in the works as more and more players are hearkening back to the times when incessant hand-holding wasn't the norm and a predestined path towards level cap with predictable dungeons and kill 10 rat quests didn't litter the face of many of the MMOs we may otherwise enjoy. With the return of the mighty sandboxer Eminent, we wanted to take a look at some of the newest games, either recently announced, in alpha, or just about ready to let you enjoy them. So here are 10 sandbox MMOs to look out for this year. We start out this list with a lesser-known title that finished its Kickstarter campaign early last year, Tug. Tug is a multiplayer open-world sandbox RPG that uses new technology and social sciences to directly involve players in the game's design. Well, what the hell does that mean? Other than what some Tug PR guy came up with, the game promises to integrate modding support to give players tools to help shape the game, offer total freedom to whether you want to play alone or with friends on a private server. Everything you need will be created in-game, from nameplates above players' heads to a mini-map on your UI, or seeing detailed information about your friends, enemies, and gear. Tug is currently in alpha for backers. Terrayn is a brand new project that was just released on Kickstarter last month, February 2014. Terrayn is a sandbox MMORPG, but we might as well start up a new genre called Desert, because the plans that Code Mushroom has for Terrayn are some of the most ambitious we've ever seen. Of course, it will have a persistent and constantly evolving world, a storyline that is all its own, the ability to create, farm, and dig anything you can imagine, but what makes it really stand out is the API, Application Programming Interface, which allows players to create simple scripts that can be put on living objects that you own. Oh, what? Sounds crazy, right? You not only create how the world looks, but how the world does. Oh, it sounded better in my head. Albion Online is another game in its alpha stages, with a still long ways to go before completion. The developers, which have taken the lovely name Sandbox Interactive, are hoping to make Albion Online the first true cross-platform MMO. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Albion Online is a stylized medieval territorial warfare game with an emphasis on player freedom. The game has a no level up character system that relies on your 6 to 8 pieces of gear, the freedom to establish your city's economy as a trader, craftsman, or mercenary, the ability to build everything from sawmills to forges and academies, and the freedom to play any way you desire. The Repopulation is another highly ambitious title from a small indie developer, Above and Beyond Technologies. This sci-fi sandbox title, which recently completed their Kickstarter campaign, takes place on the planet Ralden, with the last known human remaining population fighting for their very existence. The game places a heavy emphasis on innovation, which gives players the ability to walk down paths that they enjoy the most, whether they want to focus on combat, crafting, designing cities, forming independent rogue nations, or working together with groups. With intense lore, pets, PvE, PvP, player housing, siege systems, and more, the Repopulation is definitely one to look out for. Black Desert is a sandbox-oriented MMO from a Korean developer, Pearl Abyss. The game has been in development since 2010 and has recently gone through a closed beta testing in Korea, while releasing a few screenshots of the English version recently, although no announcement of a publisher yet. Anyways, Black Desert will feature an open world with a diverse set of biomes, unpredictable weather which will affect players, massive sieges, a detailed resource gathering system, non-instance player housing, and an action-oriented combat system. So ArcheAge is being billed as a sort of hybrid between sandbox games and theme park games, but the sandbox elements are the ones we're most excited about, so hence the inclusion on its list. ArcheAge will feature a zoneless world with a third-person view, a huge housing system, the ability to create your own class based on 3 basic skill types from a selection of 10, large-scale PvP with player-run court system, and a jail concept also sound like they could be quite fun. The extensive crafting system will allow players to create equipment, food, vehicles, building, furniture, and more. Shroud of the Avatar Forsaken Virtues comes from the infamous Richard Garriott, or Lord British as he's known in-game. If you don't know who he is, don't worry, it's not important for this video, but he did create Ultima Online, so yeah. Shroud of the Avatar will allow players to pursue any skills of their choice with no set classes. You'll be able to partake in 5 crafting categories, gathering and converting resources into items, and selling or trading those items. Communication with NPCs is through typed responses interpreted by the game. There is no quest log, and players will explore storylines that interest them. Star Citizen has been making the rounds as one of the most successful crowdfunding campaigns ever, reaching over $39 million as of this video. Star Citizen is an audacious project where the creators, Robert Space Industries, will create a whole new universe to explore and live in. The game will let you be whatever the hell it is that you want. Want to be a trader or a military combat pilot? Maybe a scavenger or a criminal? Do it. The world will be constantly expanding, evolving, and will allow user-generated combat, will focus on the interactions between yourself and others, and have a fully dynamic player-driven economy. Put me down for another million. Pathfinder Online is a fantasy sandbox MMO by Goblin Works. The game is based on the Pathfinder tabletop game, which is based on Dungeons & Dragons. Okay, business time. The highlight reel for Pathfinder Online reads like this. No grinding, no classes, player-created homes, taverns, farms, and cities, the end to meaningless gankfest and PvP, a meaningful trading system, a focus on exploration, adventure, development, and domination, a game that's about maximizing human interaction. EverQuest Next is being heralded as one of the largest sandbox MMOs ever designed, and the folks at SUE are taking their title very, very seriously. EverQuest Next developers have stated an intention to return to a style of gameplay more like the original EverQuest, while retaining the advancements that MMORPG design has made through the years since the original launched. Among the features of EQN will be full destructibility, the concept of permanent change, your choices changing the consequences in the game, and a revolutionary class system. EverQuest Next is a game that will not be released in 2014, but it's one that we'll be hearing a lot about this year, thus it belongs on our list. So there's a list of top 10 sandbox MMOs to be looking forward to in 2014. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Also, let us know that there's a game more deserving to be on the list, and use a convincing argument please, because we're very stubborn. Leave this video a like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers. Hey guys, Kirk here, and welcome to MMOTAC's first impressions of the Elder Scrolls Online PvP. PvP is hopefully just how you expect it, a wild, crazy slaughterfest with blood, murder, meat, fire, and trebuchets all over the place. There's a lot to take in on your first trip to Cyrodiil. You'll be going through the menus, figuring out what your faction owns, where the nearest keep battle is, where you should fast